Sang saranang gacchami Dhammang saranang gacchami Sanghang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Surāmeraya majjapamādaṭṭhānā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Samantā cakkavālesu atrā gaccantu devata saddhammang munirājassa sunantu sagga mokkhadan Dhammasavana kālo ayang bhadantā Dhammasavana kālo ayang bhadantā Dhammasavana kālo ayang bhadantā Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa Evaṃ me sutaṃ ekaṃ samayang bhagavā Vesāliyaṃ viharati mahāvane kūtāgāra sālāyaṃ Tatra ko bhagavā bhikkhu āmantesi Attahi bhikkave accariyehi abbutehi dhammehi samannāgataṃ uggangāpatiṃ vesālikaṃ dhāretāti. Most Venerable Ananda Nayak Thero and members of the Mahasangha, friends in the Dhamma. Now you are ready to listen the Dhamma preached by our spiritual teacher, the Lord Buddha. Venerable Ananda Thero invited me to conduct this Dhamma sermon. Dear Hamdurne, thank you very much inviting me to join this occasion. Dear friends, when we listen Dhamma, in our Dhamma books, there are three things have been mentioned. What are those? The Sunata, Dhahareta, Charata, Dhamme. When listen Dhamma, we have to pay our attention these three factors. Sunata. Sunata means we have to listen carefully, because the Supreme Buddha has preached a wonderful doctrine for us to get rid of suffering. Then when we listen, and also we have to keep it in mind. That is very important. Listening Dhamma, and we don't drop the Dhamma from the mind. We have to keep it with us. And Charata. Charata means we have to live according to the Dhamma. Therefore, when we listen Dhamma, we have to follow this path. Dear friends, the Dhamma preached by the Buddha is not easy to understand. It has been mentioned in our canonical text, Patisotagamin Nipunang Gambiran Duddha Sanganu. This Dhamma is like against to stream, Patisotagami. And also it is hard to see, Duddha Sang. And also Gambhirang, it is deep. It is not easy to understand, bind with the people who has much sensual pleasure or greediness or ill will. Those are the hindrance for us to realize this Dhamma. We have to reduce the power of our lust, ill will, and ignorance. Actually, after the high enlightenment, the Buddha thought it is, if I preach this Dhamma, people could not understand, it would be tired to the Buddha. His mind went to not to preach the Dhamma, because he had known how people's minds were working. Therefore, his mind went to not to preach the Dhamma, because he had 35-year experience, 29 years as a prince, and 6 years as ascetic. He knew how people thinking, how people working, how people are living. Therefore, Buddha thought these people would not understand this Dhamma. It is tied to the Buddha. Then at that time, the Brahma called Sahampati, he immediately appeared in front of the Buddha. And he invited the Buddha, Venerable Sir, please don't allow that feeling, that thoughts, that volition please preach Dhamma, because as you thought, it is right. There are people with much lust, ignorance. But Venerable Sir, there are people who has less, that means passionless people. That means a little ill will, little ignorance. Then if we had not chance to listen this Dhamma, it is not good. Therefore, Venerable Sir, please preach this Dhamma for the benefits that human being and deities, Deva Manussana. Then Buddha checked this world through his spiritual eye, divine eye. Then he saw the people like a pond, in the lotus in the pond. There are 3 kinds of lotus in the pond. What are those? No, some lotus, they are not coming to up to water. They are inside and they decay. Some lotus, it's some lotus can't come to up to the water, and some lotus can come to up to the water, but it is in low water level. But some are up to the water and blossom and make beautiful world. Then there's people also like that. There are defilements. Some has lots of defilements, but some has less defilements. Therefore, Buddha decided to preach this Dhamma. He mentioned Aparutami Amatasadara. I open divine door. Amatasadara. Yesotavanta Punjan Sattam. If the people wants to listen this Dhamma, they have to establish in peers. That means Saddha. Then he started this preaching from Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. You know, in the Pali Canon, we can find out lots of suttas, or more than 20,000. We say 84,000 Dhamma Khandas in Pali Canon. Out of those doctrines, today I selected one sutta to conduct this sermon. This sutta calls Ugga, Vesalika Ugga. It's a lay duty of the Buddha. When Buddha was lived at Vesali, you know, in Visala is very famous name, Visala. These days we are talking about Visala because during the time of the Buddha, there was a pandemic at Visala, 3 disasters, Roga, Amanusha, Durbiksha, like that. In this time we are experiencing the present moment, that kind of pandemic. At that time also Visala, millions of people died, and they had faced to different kind of troubles like us today. Then the Visala is very famous city. Then when Buddha was living in Visala, special name Kutagara Sala. Kutagara Sala means actually peak roof. That's a certain huts. When Buddha was living there, then according to Buddha's daily routine, Buddha addressed bhikkhus in certain times with that means in the evening time, that morning time, Buddha and bhikkhus allocated for alms round, and afternoon they took little rest, and the evening time the bhikkhus gather in a special hall. They talk different kind of Dhamma topics. One day, when bhikkhus were at the assembling hall, the Buddha went there and addressed the bhikkhus special topic. That means a special thing. But what he Buddha preached, dear monks, the Ugga household, Visala Ugga, he has 8 amazing, surprising qualities, 8 qualities. Ugga, but the householder Ugga was not there. He addressed to the bhikkhus, monks. Then Buddha mentioned, dear monks, the devotee Ugga has 8 surprising, wonderful qualities. But Buddha didn't declare many information. He didn't clarify more than that. Then saying like that, Buddha went his own room. Then that at that moment, that moment was evening time. Then next day morning, in the morning, all the monks and Buddha also, they went arm rounds. We call Pindapate Vadino, arms round, to collect food. Then a certain monks among the bhikkhus, having taken bowl and extra robe, that is a custom where Buddha also did that, followed that. When monks go arms round, I think you may have seen it. They have bowl to collect food, and also they carry extra robe. That is the custom. Then a certain monks among the group of monks, he took his bowl and extra robe. He went to the residence of Ugga. That means Ugga's house. He wanted to know the 8 qualities or 8 amazing qualities that Buddha preached last evening. He wanted to know that from Ugga household. Therefore, he thought it is good to ask from Ugga what are those. Therefore, that monks, he went to Ugga's house. As Buddhists, when monk come your home, what are you doing? How you react to it? Actually, you take a white cloth and prepare the special chair for monks, and you prepare gilampasa, we say tea or whatever things you need. And like that, the Ugga, the householder, he saw that monks at distance, in the distance. Then seeing that, he prepared a special seat for that monk. And then that monk sat on the seat, and Vaisali also sat on one side on the floor, like you are sitting now, on the floor in front of the monks. That the Vaisali Ugga, he sat on the floor, not the seat. And he paid homage to that monks. That is our custom. If monk meet us as lay people, you bow down and you worship or respect. Then we also, when we meet elder monk, we bow down in front of elder monks and we worship them. We attend them when meet elder monks. As monks, as lay people, as Buddhists, you also do that. When meet monks, when see monks, you bow down, respect, like that. This is our Buddhist custom. Especially these customs, who introduced these customs? The Buddha. These customs introduced to us by Venerable Arahat Mahinda Thero. This doctrine preached by the Buddha, that is correct. But after the third council, Venerable Arahat Mahinda Thero and group, they visited Sri Lanka and they introduced Buddhism to Sri Lanka. And they introduced these customs, how to react to monks and how to respect to monks and how to do our rituals and what are the Buddhist rituals and everything they introduced us. We followed even though we are in America, we followed the Arahat Mahinda Thera's guidance, instructions. Yeah, this is the way that we call Sinhala Sanskruti. We follow the Sinhala culture, even though we are in America. Okay, then that the afterpay homage and to that monk, that the Vesalika Ugga, he sat on the side in front of that monk, and then that monks asked from householder, that Ugga, dear Ugga or dear householder, and our Buddha Hamdru, our Buddha declared, you have 8 wonderful, surprising qualities. Buddha declared that, Buddha mentioned that last evening. I like to know what are those. That is why I came your house. Please tell me what are the 8 qualities, because Buddha did not mention what are those. Dear Ugga, please tell me what are the 8 qualities you possess. Then the Ugga replied to the Venerable, that means that monks, dear Bhante, honestly, I don't know what are the 8 qualities Buddha preached. I don't know. However, in myself, I understand I have 8 qualities. I understand I have 8 qualities. 8 surprising, amazing qualities. Please listen. Then I will tell you that the Ugga told to that monk. Then that monk replied, yes, householder, please tell me. I want to know what are the 8 qualities you have, because Buddha last evening in front of the gathering of bhikkhus, large number of bhikkhus, Buddha declared, you have 8 qualities, 8 surprising, amazing qualities. I want to know what are those. That is very important, because Buddha here, the Ugga is going to disclose 8 qualities what he had actually. Then the Ugga didn't know what are the qualities Buddha mentioned, but Ugga here mentioned, Venerable said, I have 8 qualities. I don't know what Buddha said, but I can tell you what are those 8 qualities. Okay, let's pay attention. What are those 8 qualities? The first one, that is very important. Ugga said, Venerable Sir, when I first saw of the Buddha, that means first day he met the Buddha, let's say on the Buddha in the distance, not the close, in the distance, immediately, quickly, my mind established confidence with him. That means he established in Saddha, having seen the Buddha in distance, not in the close. Haven't listened any words from the Buddha, just seen the form of the Buddha. The Ugga here mentioned, Venerable Sir, I acquired confidence just seeing the form of the Buddha. You know, the Buddha is handsome one. You know, he had how many special body parts. That means we call that the 32 body parts, special body parts. That means we have also, but he has a very beautiful body. Those qualities he got as a result of previous kusala karma, wholesome deeds he had done as a bodhisattva. You know that even though he is handsome, but all the people, they didn't establish in Saddha just seeing the Buddha, but here Ugga, he established in Saddha just seeing the form of the Buddha. He mentioned here. I think you may listen that you may know the story of Vakkali Hamdru. Vakkali Hamdru sitting in front of the Buddha, he was he was actually seeing the Buddha's form, and he didn't go anywhere from the Buddha. He always, when Buddha preached the doctrine, he sat in front of the Buddha, and he was looking at the Buddha's face. That is why Buddha asks one day, Kinte Vakkali Imina Putika and Dittene. Why Vakkali, you are looking at me? This body is going to decay. Why you are looking at this impermanent body? Your Dhamma pasatso mam pasat, you try to see the doctrine. If you see the doctrine, you can see me. If you see me, you can see the doctrine. If you see the doctrine, you can see me. And also, if you see the Paticcasamuppada, then that is, you can see the Dhamma, like that. That is why Buddha mentioned that Buddha is so handsome, so beautiful, pretty, and therefore some people, one day, one lady called Magandiya, she tried to marry with the Buddha without knowing who Buddha was, but Buddha rejected that, explaining the disadvantages of the sensual pleasure. But she couldn't understand that doctrine, and he tried to kill the Buddha, thinking Buddha condemned her, like that. Magandiya story, you may know the story of Magandiya. But however, the Ugga mentioned here, Venerable Sir, just seeing the Buddha's form, I established in Saddha. That is the first amazing, surprising quality that I have, the Ugga mentioned. Then second one, the Ugga mentioned, Venerable Sir, with the confident minds, when I attend to the Buddha, when I met the Buddha, and Buddha gave me the graduate sermon. That means progressive discourse, we call progressive discourse or graduate sermon. What is the graduate sermon? You may know it in Pali, Dana Kata, Sila Kata, Sagga Kata, Kamanang Adinavanang, Okara Sankilesang, Nekkame Anisansang. Those are the points of the graduate sermon. That means we say the progressive discourse. Actually, Buddha did not preach this graduate sermon for everyone. Buddha can check the minds of the listeners. Then checking the mind situation, mind condition of the listener, Buddha decide what kind of sermon suitable for him. Therefore, having seen the Ugga, Buddha decided to preach that graduate sermon. You know that at the first sermon, there is no graduate sermon. That is not the Anupubbhikata, we call Anupubbhikata. In the to the fivefold monks, Buddha did not mention the Anupubbhikata, did not preach Anupubbhikata. In that suttas, just the other way. Like that. But in certain person, Buddha had preached this Anupubbhikata. That is very important. You know that what is this Anupubbhikata? Anupubbhikata means graduate sermon, progressive discourse. That means step by step, Buddha started the sermon in simple way, and step by step he goes to in deep. That is the graduate sermon. That means progressive discourse. That is, firstly he talked about the Dana Katha. What is Dana Katha? Dana Katha means that the qualities of Dana, the result of Dana, what kind of result one can gain doing a Dana. Then actually he did not start with Four Noble Truth. You know, the Paticcasamuppada, the Buddha did not start his doctrine from Four Noble Truth to Patichananda, the cause and effect theory. He started this graduate sermon from Dana Katha. Everyone knows what is Dana. Buddha has mentioned in different places about Dana, the result of the Dana, and the importance of the Dana, the value of the Dana. Therefore, Buddha, this graduate sermon he started by Dana Katha. After Dana Katha, then he read the Sila Katha. Dana Katha, Sila Katha. What is Sila Katha? Sila means virtuous. He talked about the virtuousness. What is virtue? What are the qualities of virtue? How to observe virtue? How to protect virtue? What are the result of the virtue? This is Sila Katha, virtuous. Then after Dana Katha, he preached virtuous story. That means virtuous behavior, Sila Katha. Then he talked about the Sagga Katha. Sagga Katha. What is Sagga Katha? Sagga Katha means about heaven. Heaven. In this sermon, the third part is the Sagga Katha, about heaven. Actually, Buddha did not mention where the heaven is. He talked what is the path to heaven, what is the path to hell. But Buddha never mentioned where the heaven is, but everyone knows where the heaven is. Everyone knows that where the hell is. Therefore, Buddha in his Sagga Katha, he mentioned how one can go to heaven. What are the benefits in the heaven? And what are the merits that helps to go to heaven? That's the Sagga Katha. As Buddhists, everyone, you know that there are 6 heavens. Chatur Maharajika, Tavatins, Yama, Tusita, Nimmanarati, Parinimita Vasavarti. There are 6 heavens. And also apart from those heavens, 16 material worlds, we say Rupa Vachara Brahmaloka. And 4 immaterial worlds, Arupa Vachara Brahmaloka. Then, the 4 hells and human, that means human world. And those are the worlds in this universe. That means in this planet. Every planet system is like that according to Buddhist texts. Then, however, Buddha mentioned that the Sagga Katha, that firstly Dana Katha, because that the Ugga is newcomer to Buddhism. Then actually Buddha used this graduate sermon for newcomers to Buddhism and new listeners. This is the sermon Buddha used for new listeners. Then they can easily understand what Buddhism is, what kind of qualities it has, and what are the rites and ritual in this religion or in this philosophy. Then that is why Buddha used this graduate sermon. Then after the Sagga Katha, then Buddha mentioned Kamanang Adinavana, the danger of sensual pleasure. But at the very beginning, Buddha did not mention the danger of sensual pleasure or passion or lust. Then first he started the good point, that means Dana Katha. Then after Sagga Katha, Sila Katha and Sagga Katha, then he talked about the Kamanang Adinavana, disadvantages of sensual pleasure or danger of sensual pleasure. That is the in the fourth, as a fourth point, he talked about the danger of sensual pleasure, not the beginning. Then also he Okara Sanklesam, how defile, what are the defilements that cause to hell or the impure or someone. Those are things he talked about. Okara Sanklesam, about the defilements that cause to evilness. The Okara Sanklesam. Those are the things Buddha mentioned. And then after illustrating the disadvantages of sensual pleasure, then Buddha talk about the benefits of renunciation. You know renunciation? It is very famous, Buddha's great renunciation. What is the renunciation? Renunciation is we have to renounce the world in search of get rid of suffering. That means in search of truth, to find out the real truth of the life. Renunciation means abandoning all the things, everything. That means in the relatives and what they have in the wealth, rejecting or avoiding, abandoning all the things. The in wise person, they renounce the world. That means they become monk or ascetic. That is we call renunciation. You know the Prince Siddhartha, he rejected kinship, he rejected kingdom. Universal monarch, according to predictions, he would have universal monarchship after 7 days. But he renounced the world on as a full moon day. Renounced the world. In this graduate sermon, Buddha explained what are the benefits of renunciation. But not every person, Buddha know the minds of the listener. That's why, every person Buddha did not mention this graduate sermon. That means Anupubbi Kata. Only for the suitable persons who can realize the doctrine. That Buddha saw that the mind, the situation of the of Vesalika Ugga. That is why he used this method to preach doctrine. Then after disclosing the danger of sensual pleasure, then Buddha mentioned the benefits of renunciation. You know that the renunciation, that there are different definitions about the renunciation. Actually, normally accept the renunciation, what I explained, that the abandon all the things, going to monastic to become a monk, so ascetic one. That is the general accept of the renunciation. But the decrease our evil side or decrease the power of our evil thoughts, that's also one kind of renunciation. But to understand, to realize the doctrine, everyone need not to be ascetic or monks. During the time of the Buddha, there were lots of millions of lay noble persons, lay nobles. Therefore, the renunciation is introduced as the reduce the power of evil side, evil thoughts of that. We have lots of evil thoughts. When we live in this society, daily the millions of evil thoughts appear in our mind. It is hard to control, because that is why we are doing this kind of meritorious deeds. Then joining this kind of meritorious deeds, we can reduce the power of the evil thoughts. But all the evil thoughts generate from 3 roots. What are the roots? We call lobha, desha, moha. Those are the roots of evils. Every evil action, evil speech, evil thoughts create from greediness or lust or passion, and ill will and ignorance. Those are the roots. We say akusala mula, unwholesome roots. Those are the unwholesome roots. Then here, friends, that the after that this clarification, then Buddha understood the mind of Ugga. Ugga mentioned here, Venerable Sir, Buddha understood my mind situation, and then having seen my hindranceless mind, and Buddha preached a special sermon. Every Buddhas say that what is the Samukkansika Desana. Buddha preached me that what is Samukkansika Desana means the Four Noble Truth. Buddha preached me the Four Noble Truth. Four Noble Truth. What is Four Noble Truth? I think you all know the suffering, its origin, and its cessation, and the path. Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, Marga. That is Four Noble Path. You know that the Ugga is well educated one and he is wise one. Just listening the Buddha's the sermon, the Four Noble Truth, then he could catch this Dhamma immediately. It has been mentioned in Vesalika Sutta. It's like the clean cloth, bit of dark spot would readily absorb dye. The clean cloth also quickly absorb dye, clean cloth. But dirty cloth, it does not apply dye quickly. But the clean cloth apply dye, that means absorb dye quickly. Like that, Vesalika Ugga, he immediately, just listening the Four Noble Truth, he realized this doctrine. He became a noble one. He realized this doctrine. That is the one of surprising, wonderful quality of Vesalika Ugga. Actually, what he realized, you know that in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta also, it has been mentioned in the Kondanya, the ascetic Kondanya realized something. Then Buddha made the joyful utterance. Oh, Anya Sivatabo Kondanyo, Anya Sivatabo Kondanyo. The Kondanya realized. What Kondanya realized? Here also, in this sutta also, the Ugga realized doctrine. He realized the Buddha's teaching, just listening the Four Noble Truth. What he realized? Yankinchi Samudaya Dhamman Sabbantam Nirodha Dhamma. That is the doctrine he realized. What is the meaning of that? Whatever is subject to origination is all subject to cessation. Whatever is subject to origination is all subject to cessation. Yankinchi Samudaya Dhamman Sabbantam Nirodha. Whatever origin in this way appear in the world, those are going to disappear or decay or vanish. That is called, this theory we call Paticca Samuppada, cause and theory, or dependent origination, we call like that. Then just listening the Buddha's this graduate sermon, the Vesalika Ugga quickly realized the doctrine. You know, in Dhammapada also mentioned about the realization of the police and vice. Muhuttampi che vinyu panditam pairupasati kippan dhammang vijanati jiva suprasanyata. When curry touch our tongue, that we know what is the taste of the curry. Like that the wise person, just listening the Dhamma, he realized doctrine. But the police like a spoon. Even though spoon we use a spoon to make a curry, but spoon cannot taste the taste of the curry. But just touching the tongue, our tongue, we realize, we know what is the taste of the curry. Like that, the wise man, like that, just listening this doctrine, wise man can realize this doctrine. Like that, this Ugga, Vesalika Ugga, he realized doctrine. Just listening the Buddha's sermon. That this is the second surprising, amazing quality of him. He mentioned that the third one, the Ugga told to that monk, Venerable Sir, the third quality that I have, according to my understanding, that means according to his understanding, he mentioned here, Venerable Sir, I had 4 young wives. I had 4 young wives. Then, after realizing doctor, he went home and he addressed them, dear sisters. He addressed his wives as sisters. that today, because he realized this doctrine. That is why he addressed like sisters. Dear sisters, I have undertaken the training and rules with celibacy as fifth. That means I observe 5 precepts with celibacy. Dear friends, as layman, you observe 5 precepts. In the third, what is third one? Third one is kamesu michachara virmani. That generally layperson observe 5 precepts like that. Kamesu michachara virmani. Kamesu michachara means you go refuge, you undertake, you observe precept, the determining without misconduct, the sexual, not to do sexual misconduct, not to do misconduct. But celibacy life is not like that. If anyone observe 5 precepts as with the celibacy means brahmachari life. Celibacy means brahmachari. Brahmachari means brahmachari person that he observes celibacy life. When he observes celibacy, he doesn't do any kind of acts related to sensual pleasure. He abandoned all the things, everything related to sensual pleasure. He doesn't like to sensual pleasure because he has no sensual pleasure. That is why he addressed his wives, the sisters. He told them, if you want, you can enjoy wealth right here with me. If you like, you can be with here as sisters. You can enjoy with my wealth. And if you don't like be here, you can go your parents' home. If it is not, if you know any person, I can give him to you. That means I can give permission to marry him. Then the elder wife told him, the Ugga mentioned, Venerable Sir, my elder wife told me, Sir, I like that person. Please give me to him. Then he called him and he bestow, that means he gave that wife to that person. That even though when he do that, his mind not any change, because she was very beautiful lady, but even though he give that lady to that person, he mentioned, Venerable said, my mind didn't change. That means any shaken, I had not any shaken of mind, any that means any trouble to me, any difficult to me. Then that is the third amazing quality of me, of Ugga. He mentioned that is the third one that I have in verse in men. What is the fourth one? Fourth one is his family. He is wealthy, but he shared his properties with his good friends, those who have had good characters. He shared those properties with his good friends. That means those who had good qualities, good characters. That is the fourth amazing, surprising quality of him. But the fifth one, he mentioned, Venerable Sir, when I attend bhikkhus, I attend on him respectfully. That means Sakkacha, we call in the Sakkachampai Rupasati in Pali. I attend them. When I attend with bhikkhus, I attend them respectfully. I didn't attend them without respect, he mentioned. That is my fifth amazing quality that I have, according to him. But he didn't know what are the qualities Buddha mentioned, but he explained here what he experienced, according to his knowledge. Then the sixth one, Venerable Sir, if any venerable come to my house, then I ready to listen Dhamma. If any venerable, the monks time to time went to his house. He mentioned here, Venerable Sir, if any monks come my house, I am ready to listen Dhamma. But if the monks does not know preach that Ugga mentioned, if that monks does not know, does not yes. What is the seventh one? In certain times, the deities, devas, deities had come to him. Then deities had told, uh, dear sir, the Buddha's doctrine is excellent. It is well preached, like that. Then Venerable Sir, I have no special proud, and I have no proud or deities talk with me, but deities come to his home to meet him, and then they had told to him, uh, dear sir, the Buddha's preaching is excellent, amazing. Then it is truth, it's honest. But Venerable Sir, even though deities told me that the Buddha's doctrine is truth, honest, and like that, amazing and surprising, but it is not the point to me. Why? I know it myself. Buddha's doctrine is truth. It is amazing. It is surprising. It is wonderful. It is cause to get rid of suffering. It is aimed to liberation. It is aimed to end of the sansara. I know myself. Therefore, it is not the point to be proud. Oh, Deva also, deity is also talking with me. It is not the point to be proud to me. He mentioned. You think about that in certain noble person. If any deity talk with the noble person, what happened to them? Oh, they may surprise, and they may talk, and they may talk to media also. Oh, deity is talking with me, deity talking with me, and he published the papers and like that, and he postcard the videos and different kind of things to publish it. But household Ugga, he mentioned here, Venerable deities they come my home, and they talk with me, and they try to explain Buddha's doctrine to me. They try to prove that it truthfulness. But Venerable it is not the cause to me, because I myself know what is Buddha's doctrine is. I have no I have no proud or deities also talking with me. It is not to cause to be proud, because I know it myself. That is the seventh one. Seventh one. Venerable said, this is the seventh quality that I have. The last one. Last one is Venerable the five fetters. There are 8 fetters. Buddha has mentioned 8 fetters. But Venerable Sir, I don't see any fetters. That means out of 10, the five, the first 5 fetters I have destroyed. I haven't understand. I couldn't understand that I have any fetters out of first 5. That means I have not any fetters in first 5. That means he already destroyed first 5. You may have you may heard it, that the 10 fetters, Sakkaya Ditti, Vichikicha, Silabbata Paramasa, Kamaraga, Patiga, Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Uddacha, Avidya. Those are the 10 fetters. We call that what is Sakkaya Ditti? Sakkaya Ditti means belief in self. That means, you may have heard that the soul theory, the Buddha rejected soul theory, but during the time of the Buddha, a certain group taught that there is a soul. It is uh, it is moving to life without any changing. Buddha reject that idea. Among the bhikkhus, we call the Sati monk. He also had that kind of thought that he mentioned that our consciousness, vijnana, is moving. Vijnana is traveling life to life in the samsara without changing. Buddha reject and condemn it. Buddha explained this vijnana is existing as a paticca samuppanna theory. That means this vijnana is always changing. It is changing, but not without change. It is not exist without changing. Buddha mentioned it is change, always changing. But that the Sakkaya Ditthi means self-imbued. What is we believe? Actually, we call the Panchupadana Kanda. That is Sakkaya Ditthi. Cling to form, Rupupadana Kanda, Vedanupadana, cling to feeling, and Sanyupadana, cling to perception, cling of perception, and Sangarupadana Kanda, cling to mental factors or mental conditions, thoughts, and Vinyanupadana Kanda means cling of consciousness. Those are the Panchupadana Kanda. That is we call Sakkaya Ditthi. This is the first fetter out of 10. The second it is Vichikicha. Vichikicha, they doubt about the Buddha, Buddha's quality, Buddha's high enlightenment. They doubt about doctrine, it is truth or not, thinking like this. And they doubt about Sangha, the Arahant, that means whether they realize this doctrine or not, like that. They doubt about the noble Sangha, and they doubt about past, whether I was or not in past, and they doubt about future, whether I will be or not, and some they doubt about both past and future, and they doubt about training and path. Those are the 8 doubts. Then this doubt is fetter. That is hindrance for nirvana, we call fetters. That means Sakka Vichikicha Silabbata Paramasa. Silabbata Paramasa means attached to the other teachers' rites and rituals. We call it Silabbata Paramas. They attach to the other teachers, other spiritual teachers, the rites and fetters. Because Buddha has shown clear path without following the Buddha's path. Some people followed the other leaders' path, then they follow the rites and rituals of others. That is we call Silabbata Paramas. To become a Sotapanna, we call it extreme enterer. To become extreme enterer, we have to uproot these 3 fetters completely. We have to uproot, we have to destroy these 3 fetters to become a Sotapanna. Then what is the next? Next to is sensual pleasure, desire, and ill will. We call Kamaraga and Patigha. Kamaraga means sensual desire, and Patigha means ill will. Covering up temporary, these 2, we call that person. If anyone cover up temporary these 2, then we call Sakadagami, once returner. But destroying these 2 completely, then one can become Anagami, non-return. One can become a non-return, Anagami. But then that means here Ugga mentioned, Venerable Sir, I haven't seen any fetter any fetter out of these 5. That means, what is the meaning of that? He is the non-returner. That means he is an Anagami person here. That is why he mentioned, Venerable Sir, I have not any fetter out of these first 5. He had not any fetter out of 10, is the first 5. That means he is in Anagami position. What are the others? Others means Ruparaga. Ruparaga means the desire for material existence. Aruparaga, desire for immaterial existence. And Mana, conceit. Uddacha, restlessness. Avijja, ignorance. Those are the other second group of out this 10 fetters. Then if after the anagamiship, then mean they should destroy last 5 to become arahant. That the ruparaga, aruparaga, mana, uddacha, avidya, these 5 fetters exist till the arahantship. Arahantship. That the here Ugga mentioned, Venerable Sir, I realize I have no first 5 fetters. I have no first 5 fetters. That means he is an anagami. That is why he rejects sensual pleasure. That is why he mentioned his wife to go to their home or to marry with other persons. That is why, because he has no sensual pleasure. He's anagami person. That is the meaning of that. Then he mentioned here, Venerable Sir, according to my understanding, these are the 8 qualities that I have. But Venerable Sir, but I don't know what the Buddha mentioned about me. The Buddha mentioned there are 8 qualities in Ugga Gahapati, but I don't know what are those qualities. But Venerable Sir, according to my understanding, these are the 8 qualities that I have. Then that bhikkhu then accepted his explanation, and he got his arm food also from his house, and he went to the Buddha, and after approaching to the Buddha, he bowed down to the Buddha, and he mentioned, Venerable Sir, you mentioned that there are 8 qualities in Ugga householder. Therefore, I wanted to know what are those. The Venerable Sir, I went to his house and I asked about his 8 qualities. But Venerable Sir, he told me, he explained me what are the qualities that I have and that he had. Then Venerable Sir, the, those are the qualities that monks explain those qualities in front of the Buddha. Venerable Sir, the Ugga told me like this, like this. Then that monks explain to the Buddha. Then Venerable the Buddha said, very good monks, very good, very good, very good. I had declared that night, I declared that householder Ugga has 8 qualities, the same qualities, no any change, no any difference. Those are the qualities that he has. I mentioned last night he has 8 qualities. Those are the qualities, no any difference, no any changes. That is why I mentioned he has 8 qualities like that. Then Buddha mentioned like that. Buddha approved. Buddha agreed with householder Ugga. That is the 8 qualities of the householder Ugga. That is the actually Vesalika Ugga Sutta mentioned these 8 qualities. Actually, we have no more time. But however, our Ananda Hamdru mentioned before wind up the sermon, then we can open this session for questions. If you have any question about my sermon, what I mentioned here, now before transfer merit our departed ones and relatives, and before conduct the session. But if you have any doubt or any question now, we can allocate a little time for that. I think I have no questions. Then therefore, it is better to transfer merit for the relatives and. Okay, then I would like to mention today's sponsors. Our Hamdru also mentioned uh, before we start the sermon. Today, Dhamma Desana was sponsored by Mr. Ravindra Kumar Vijayasundara and Miss Chalani Vanigasekara. Uh, they want to transfer merit to Mr. Ravindra Kumar's grandfather and grandmother, Mr. L.B. Ekanaik and Mrs. M.W. Kumari Hami, and also Miss Chalani Vanigasekara's proud father, Dr. Douglas Vanigasekara. They want to transfer merit, then including those relatives and all the relatives who passed away, and let's transfer that merits by the power of this merit. May they be well and happy in their current life. The By the power of this merit, may they attain supreme bliss of nibbana shortly. Then let's transfer merit for the uh, all the departed relatives, uh, and for their liberation, for their nibbana. Then let's transfer merit for deities too. To transfer merit, let's chant together. Akasatta Chummata Deva Naga Mahidika